Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video for this week, for the week of August 21st to the 27th, where I take a look at some of the stories that kind of caught my attention and give you my thoughts and my opinion. And we got 4 stories to cover, including PQube Games, the publisher that's famous for, publishing the infamous Galgun series, though, seems to be in a little bit of a controversy from themselves. We also had opening night for Gamecom 2022, and I wanted to give you my thoughts on what I did like that they showed and what I didn't like or mixed or not sure about, though. We also have reports about the KOTOR Remake in terms of that the game may not be entirely dead to some degree, and of course, July 2022 NPD number has come out with some interesting surprises, though. One from WB Games and one from Nintendo itself. And if you're curious where I got basically the sources of these information, though, I'll have links down in the description down below. But before we get started, I like to call the quick My 2 Cent stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into a huge amount of details. The first one is, although this one just recently got updated, though, is that there was rumors going around that November 8th was going to be the launch date for Sonic Frontiers. It was later confirmed this week that launch date is correct, though, so it looks like Sonic Frontiers will be released on November 8th. Whether it does well or not remains to be seen on that. We also learned that the Sky 7 is in the works, and it's being developed for the PlayStation systems and the Nintendo Switch, though. As of right now, they have set a release date for January 26th for Japan, though. There's no word on a release date at this time for the West. That said, given the fact that we've seen pretty much almost every entry make their way over here to the West, I would say odds are more than likely Sky 7 is going to come over here to the West. Whether it's going to be like what we saw with the Sky 6, which was a time exclusive on the Switch before making its way to other systems, or whether the game will launch close on January 26th like it is in Japan, or how long we have to wait for it, that remains to be seen. We do have supposedly a release date for basically for the Games Awards, though, and now they're adding a new category, which is basically Best Adaptation. That is probably might be any TV shows or anything like that for Best Adaptation of a video game, though. I could see something like, although this may be controversial to some folks out there, the Halo show to possibly The Last of Us, or even the Netflix Castlevania, and also will be very interesting when we see how that plays out at the Game Awards, though. I think it's going to be in December. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll have to wait and see. There's also rumors that supposedly the Avatar: The Last Airbender RPG is going to have visual styles that are very similar to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. And while that sounds neat, though, I don't have huge high expectations for this game, though. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, and I also like how some of the folks who worked on that have worked on some shows on Netflix, like the Voltron to the Dragon Prince, if I'm saying the name correctly, though. So, I mean, I enjoy them, but I'm just not sure. To me, I feel like this is shouting a cash grab or something like that. Now, it could be good, just like what we saw with SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated and the new upcoming SpongeBob game, though. So there's always that possibility, but right now my expectations are kind of low on this one. But time will ultimately tell, and we'll have to see how the game looks and how it plays and all. We also learned that supposedly there will be a Season Pass and Gold Edition for the upcoming Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. While I am looking forward to the game, though, again, I'm not a big fan of this announcing the Season Pass before the game comes out, though. I mean, I'm not against DLCs when it's done right. I just don't agree with this kind of approach because it gives the impression of basically this is cut content or anything like that. Even if that's not what the developer's intention was, it still sort of gives that impression, to be exact, though. We also learned that there is scheduled maintenance for the Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS, as we are approaching the closure of those eShops of those systems. So I know not everyone is a big fan of this, and I kind of can understand that to a certain degree. And it does bring up the whole issue of digital purchases and so forth, and all that issue. So, but at the same time, given the success that Nintendo's having with the Switch right now, it seems more of their focus is on the Nintendo Switch and all. So, yeah, I'm very mixed on this, to be exact, though. We also learned that Live Alive, the remake that came out on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo originally wanted that to be on the Virtual Console, but obviously that changed to where it is right now, though. So it's certainly very interesting that this could have been on the Virtual Console, or at least the Nintendo Switch Online service, with the NES, Super NES, and N64, those. But either way, it is kind of interesting, though. I am playing the game. I do think I am enjoying it so far, though. We also learned that Ubisoft has denied rumors that they are building making a Blade game based on the upcoming Marvel movie which Blade will be introducing to the MCU, though. I'm kind of mixed with Ubisoft, though. I mean, yes, they can make good games, but they've also been obsessive with just making every game open world to live services, though. So I'm not really sure about Ubisoft doing a Blade game. It's not that I don't think a Blade game can't work. It's just the last couple of Blade games didn't exactly sit very well. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, hell, I think a Daredevil game could work if it's done correctly and all, though. We also learned that supposedly Microsoft may have leaked some major new releases for the Game Pass, though. I think they were recently revealed at Gamecom and all, though. So I'm not really sure what those titles. I may have to relook at what those titles are, but we had some titles leaked, some announcements of titles leaked before Gamescom started and everything like that. We also learned that supposedly there will be an increase on the price of the PS5 in countries like UK, Europe, Japan, Canada, Australia, Mexico, but not here in the US, though. Their argument is basically because of the economic situation, and while that might be true to some extent, though, I can see how this can somewhat discourage some folks from even trying to seek out a PS5. I mean, even if they're lucky to find one, it's still hard to find a PS5, to be exact, despite it selling very well and all. So I'm not really sure about them doing this, and so far there's been some backlash against Sony's decision to raise the price now, and I can see why some people may not be happy about it. We also learned that there will be a third Voice of Cards games, though. For those who don't know, some of these games were developed by the same person who helped create the Nier series, or the recent Nier Automata, though. They're fun games, to be exact. Not hard, but enjoyable games. There's been 2 entries so far. A third one is in development, so that certainly is nice, though. We also learned that Sakurai has his own YouTube channel, though, in terms of basically about game development, and it so far has surpassed 200K subscribers in under 24 hours. That's kind of impressive for him to do that, though. I haven't checked the channel out, but it's kind of interesting to see in terms of how he develops some of these games and all. And last but not least, it's been reported that Shiver, one of the characters for the upcoming Splatoon 3 game, though it was reported last week that there were reports that she could be binary, though, if I'm saying the name correctly. However, it's been reported, at least from Nintendo, that is not the case, and that she is female, to be exact, though. Personally, though, even if that story was true and everything like that, I really wasn't losing sleep if it turned out that Shiver, if I'm saying her name correctly, was binary or not. So to me, it wasn't really something that would make me lose sleep over if I heard about that. So whether you think that's important or not, that's your call. So for some that might be disappointing to hear that. For others, they may have a different view and all on that matter, though. Okay, with the quick My 2 cent part now done, we'll get started with our first story, and this one has to do with July 2022's NPD, though. The numbers have been coming out on some of the games, though, and there are some surprises, to be exact, of some games that made it in, particularly 2 that were Multiverse, which had sort of like a starter pack though, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, despite only being in the market for a couple of days. And both of these games managed to make it into, say, the top 10. And for something like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, at least as from a Nintendo fan and some person who likes that series, that is definitely a good thing. In terms of basically what the numbers are, we'll start first with July 2022's NPD, top best-selling games, the best-selling game of the month in the US, though. Bear in mind, though, Nintendo does not release any digital sales figures for their digital, when they release the game digitally and all. But anyway, number 1 is Multiverse. Number 2 is Elden Ring. That's pretty impressive to see it get dethroned by Multiverse, though. Number 3 is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Number 4 is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Number 5 is Call of Duty Vanguard. Number 6 is MLB The Show 22. Number 7 is Mario Kart 8. Number 8 is Digimon Survive. Not bad for an entry in the Digimon series. Number 9 is Minecraft. Number 10 is F1 22. Number 11 is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Maybe they're not top 10, but still doing well, though. Number 12 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 13 is Animal Crossing New Horizon. Number 14 is Overwatch. Number 15 is Pokemon Legends Arceus. Number 16 is Nintendo Switch Sports. Number 17 is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Number 18 is Far Cry 6. Number 19 is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And number 20 is Monster Hunter Rise. I'm assuming this has to do with the recent, release of Sunbreak and everything like that. I mean, that's in number 20, not bad though. And obviously it could be both the Switch and the PC version. But still, seeing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 at number 4, that's not bad. I mean, yes, I would have liked it at number 1, but I'm not losing sleep over the fact that it reached number 4 though. Over at basically the best-selling games of 2022 so far, though, in terms of in that category, though, we have Elden Ring at number 1, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga at number 2, Pokemon Legend Arceus at number 3, Horizon 2 Forbidden West at number 4, MLB The Show 22 at number 5, Call of Duty Vanguard at number 6, Gran Turismo 7 at number 7, no pun intended, Kirby and the Forgotten Land at number 8, Mario Kart 8 at number 9, Madden NFL 22 at number 10, that's my cat, don't worry, Minecraft at number 11, Nintendo Switch Sport at number 12, FIFA 22 at number 13, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 14, Monster Hunter Rise at number 15, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 16, Animal Crossing New Horizon at number 17, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 18, Mario Party Superstar at number 19, and at number 20, Dying Light 2 Stay Human. I wonder if some of that may be because of the recent DLC announcement for Dying Light 2 and all. Over at the top 10 best-selling games of the last 12 months, the July 2022 NPD for all platforms, they have Elden Ring at number 1, Call of Duty Vanguard at number 2, Madden NFL 22 at number 3, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl at number 4, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga at number 5, Battlefield 2042 at number 6, FIFA 22 at number 7, Far Cry 6 at number 8, Pokemon Legends Arceus at number 9, and Horizon 2 Forbidden West at number 10. In terms of the best-selling Nintendo platform games in the US for July 2022, obviously for the Nintendo Switch, we have Xenoblade Chronicles. I think that's the first one. They may miss the 3, but they have Xenoblade Chronicles at number 1, Mario Kart 8 at number 2, Kirby at the Forgotten Land at number 3, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 4, Animal Crossing New Horizon at number 5, Pokemon Legend Arceus at number 6, Nintendo Switch Sport at number 7, Live Alive at number 8, not bad, I'm glad to see that game make it on there, Digimon Survive at number 9, and Mario Party Superstar at number 10. Over on the PlayStation side of things, we got Elden Ring at number 1, MLB The Show 22 at number 2, Multiverse at number 3, Call of Duty Vanguard at number 4, Minecraft at number 5, Horizon 2 Forbidden West at number 6, FIFA 22 at number 7, Gran Turismo 7 at number 8, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga at number 9, and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 10. And last but not least, over on the Xbox side, though, we have Multiverse at number 1, Elden Ring at number 2, Call of Duty Vanguard at number 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 at number 4, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga at number 5, Overwatch at number 6, Call of Duty Modern Warfare at number 7, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 8, F1 22 at number 9, and Forza Horizon 5 at number 10. It might be some of the recent DLC. I think they had the Hot Wheels DLC and all. So in terms of the takeaway of all this, I think the big takeaway, actually there are 3 that I could think of the big out of this though. The first one is seeing Live Alive make it into basically the top 10 Nintendo Switch best-selling games of July 2022. Obviously it didn't make it into the top 20 though. It may have gotten a little bit lower, but still it's nice to see that, especially for a game that never saw the light of the day here in the West until it was announced for the Nintendo Switch and all, though. So that certainly is not bad for that game. But I think the 2 big ones out of this was, seeing Multiverse, especially I believe it was the starter pack they announced it, or Founders Pack from what I understand, dethrone Elden Ring for this month. That's kind of surprising considering that both Elden Rings and Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga has pretty much dominated the majority of 2022 this year and all. Now, could that change next month? That's a possibility. There's always that possibility that could happen, but still pretty impressive. Still pretty impressive for a game that is kind of a take on Super Smash Bros. In general to make the number 1 spot. And finally, last but not least, of course, is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 making it into the top 10. I mean, that's not bad for a JRPG or a RPG series that at one point wasn't going to be coming here to the West until fans really pushed for it, aka Operation Rainfall, and to see 3 entries of the series make its way over to the Nintendo Switch is definitely nice. And I'm glad the game is doing very well indeed. I've been sinking some hours into it, though it is enjoyable, though. I definitely could see this one get nominated for Game of the Year, to be exact. Whether it wins it or not, that remains to be seen. A lot of people point to Elden Ring as being that top contender and all, but still, I'm glad to see Xenoblade Chronicles 3 make it in there, though. Here's to hoping that maybe Nintendo could consider the idea of porting Xenoblade Chronicles X over to the Nintendo Switch. I would love to see that happen indeed. So overall, though, very surprised to see Elden Ring get thrown by Multiverse, though, but still, it's still doing very well indeed. And obviously for a game that's basically sort of a take on Smash Bros., though, it's certainly off to a good start. How it is next month, that remains to be seen. And seeing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 at number 4, though, again, I'm happy to see it's in the top 10. I'm happy there is an audience that's there for it, though. Obviously, I would have liked it to be at number 1, but I'm not losing sleep over the fact it's at number 4. So, great start for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, indeed. And this is basically the physical versions and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 2. And this one has to do with reports regarding the KOTOR Remake and how it may not be 100% dead, though. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the situation surrounding the remake of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Now, when it was last reported, though, if you're hearing a noise, that's my AC, that's the AC turning on, so apologize for that, though. But anyway, when we last heard about it, it was reported by Bloomberg's Jason Schreider that the game that was being developed by Asperity, if I'm saying the name correctly, though, was recently put on hold following supposedly a vertical slice shown to Lucasfilm and Disney. And for what we understand, it did not sit very well with them, to the point that basically The two I think developers or two artists were fired from it. It was reported that they had decided to hit the pause button on the game while they looked for other opportunities, though. This kind of gave the impression that it was sounded like most likely the game was going to face development hell or the possibility of it being outright cancel and all. Well, a new report from Bloomberg, courtesy of Jason Schreier, seems to indicate that may not be 100% the case, though, as it's been reported that supposedly Saber Interactive, which was reported to, at one point helping with the game, is now going to be completely, take full control of the development of that game. The article from Bloomberg, unfortunately, is behind a paywall, though, sadly, though. But I was able to find this one from Video Game Chronicles that kind of sums it up a little bit, though. The titles, KOTOR Remake reportedly moved from Asperity Media to Saber Interactive. It claims Embracers, Sony, and Disney were all unhappy with the progress of the remake. The article reads that, quote, according to a Bloomberg source said to be close to the game, the Trouble project has been moved from previously developed Asperity Media to Saber Studio in Eastern Europe. The game will likely take at least 2 more years to finish the site source claim. According to the report, Asperity was relieved of development duties because its owner, Embracer Group, and production partner Lucasfilm and Sony were all displeased with the progress of the game under its direction. Embracer has confirmed in May that Asperity's partner company Saber was also working on the game, and some of Bloomberg's sources said at the time they believe it was possible the studio has taken over development of the project entirely, though. While not mentioning the title by name, Embracer seemingly confirmed last Thursday that the game has switched developers. One of the group's AAA projects has transitioned to another studio within the group, it said. This was done to ensure the quality bar is where we need it to be for the title. We are not expecting any material delays for the title based on this transaction. Announced last September for the PS5 and PC, the game has been in development for 3 years at Austin's Texas-based Asperities, which originally planned to have it ready to release by the end of 2022. Bloomberg previously reported that Asperity has fired the game's former designer, director Brad Price, if I say the name correctly, and art director Jason Miner in July. It claims the pair were dismissed shortly after the studio finalized a demo of the game to show to Lucasfilm and Sony. So, assuming this is all necessarily true, it seems that Saber Interactive is going to be taking over. That said, Saber Interactive track record isn't exactly it could be a hit and miss in time. While there have been some games they've worked on that have been extremely impressive, like porting The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt to the Nintendo Switch, though, not every game they put out is basically spot on to a certain degree. So I'm a little curious to see how this one turns out with Saber Interactive, and if the reports are also true that we may have to wait another 2 years. So obviously this game, if that's the case, it's pretty sure that this game will not come out by the end of the year. We may have to wait until like 2025 for the game to come out, though. I hope it does turn out well. I really do, though. But I feel that there's a very good chance this could turn into the kind of situation we saw with like Duke Nukem Forever, where that went into like development hell for so long. So I'm a little worried about this one, to be exact. I mean, yes, it could turn out to be as good, like what we saw with something like, say, Metroid Prime, how that went through development hell for quite some time before coming out to critical acclaims and praise, though. But at the same time, it could end up like I mentioned with either Duke Nukem Forever or, God forbid, what happened with Alien Colonial Marines. So time will ultimately tell, though, so we'll have to wait and see. But overall, though, it's going to be interesting to see, if assuming this is all true, how Saber Interactive handles this KOTOR remake, though. It could turn out to be good, but it may turn out to be bad. But assuming this is true, time will ultimately tell, though. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 3, and this one has to do with Gamescom 2022, the opening night to be exact though, and I want to take a look at what games I liked and what I'm not sure or mixed about though. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of my 2 cent video, and for this one, I'm going to be talking about Gamescom 2022, particularly the opening night that had recently happened. Now, they did have their opening out, and they showed off a list of a lot of the games that they showed off for their opening night, though. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to watch it. Again, a lot of things to do, ranging from some stuff here and there to work and all, but I did get a chance to read about what was shown on opening night though, and there was certainly some stuff that kind of caught my attention. To some of the stuff I'm not really 100% sure about at this time. If you want to see what was shown at Gamescom opening night though, links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube though. But for this one, I'm going to break down to what I liked and what I didn't like, and not sure and somewhat mixed about though. So we'll start off first with what I like, and the first one is basically the new Tales from the Borderlands. It's from the Telltale's developers, and it's basically another point and click type of adventure though. I remember playing the first one, I think it was on the PS4 though, and I did enjoy it though. I mean, yes, it may not be the traditional first person shooter though, but it was still a good game nevertheless though. Plus, I do enjoy the Borderlands series. I like the lore and the universe and everything like that. So that one I'm definitely taking a look at. The next one is basically The Lords of the Fallen, which basically sounds like somewhat of a reboot to a certain degree, even though it takes place like after the events of the first game to be exact though. I remember playing a little bit of it though, and it was sort of a Souls-like game. And at the time it wasn't like hugely great at Souls-like games. Somewhat better, but I'm not 100% perfect to be exact though. But still, it's one I will definitely keep an eye on indeed though. So that one kind of caught my attention. The next one is basically Dying Light 2 Blood Tide. So obviously Techland is pushing forward with supporting Dying Light 2 for a while, just like they did with the first game to be exact though. So I'm definitely looking forward to keeping an eye out on Blood Tides and all. The next one is called Phantom Hellcat, and for what I understand, this one is sort of like a Nier type of a game though, which certainly isn't a bad thing. I enjoyed Nier Automata and Nier Replica and all that, so this is one I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out, especially if it's close to the type of style that Nier was known for though. We also learned that a development team by the name of Something Picked Games are developing something called Wyrdsong, if I'm saying the name correctly, and this one is made up of former developers, I think, from Obsidian and Bethesda, and this is made also of people basically for folks who like Fallout 4 and Skyrim. So they're basically aiming, for what I understand, is an open world approach. Now, granted, they only had a teaser at this time, so we haven't really seen any gameplay, so we'll have to wait and see eventually how it is though. But I am kind of curious about this one, and I will definitely be keeping an eye out for that one, especially if this one sort of like comes to Game Pass and all. And last but not least, the other one is Lies of P though, and apparently, from what I understand, it's like a Souls-like game, but sort of like with Pinocchio and all, and it looks kind of interesting indeed. So that one I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out though. As far as what I didn't like, or I'm not sure, or kind of mixed on to be exact though, I will say first one has to do with Dead Island 2. Now, I'm not here to say I want Dead Island 2 to fail or anything like that though. I hope the game is a success though. It does look promising based on some of the gameplay they showed, but at the same time, we've seen this game has went through development hell by a lot. It switched from many different developers, to be exact though. I think the latest one is Dam Buster Studios though, which I'm very mixed on them though, and that has to do with them releasing Homefront: The Revolution, how that didn't turn out to be very well. it certainly is a better game now, and have it on my Xbox Series S, though, thanks to the FPS boost, the game is certainly more enjoyable than it was when it originally launched, but still, that didn't exactly sit very well with a lot of folks when the game came out, though. On top of that, though, given the development history of that game, I'm a little concerned about falling into the kind of situation we saw with, and I mentioned this before, Duke Nukem Forever to Alien Colonial Marines, but at the same time, and like I mentioned, this could turn into sort of a Metroid Prime moment for Dead Island 2. So what they showed is promising, but I'm still not sure. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it, though. But I mean, given the development hell it's been through, I'm just worried this could turn into those kind of games, or like what we saw with Cyberpunk 2077. The next one is Sonic Frontiers, and like Dead Island 2, though, the thing is, I don't want this game to fail. What they've showed is somewhat promising, but we saw the reaction, what happened with when IGN first had their showing of Sonic Frontiers and all, and it didn't sit very well compared to when Sonic Frontiers was shown during one of Nintendo's Directs, and that got a better response than basically what IGN first basically showed off and all. And we've seen Sonic games in the past, how Sega can find some way to screw it up. We saw this, what happened with Sonic Colors, and how that was launched in a extremely poor condition, especially on the Switch. To be honest, Sega, Blind Squirrel should never touch a Switch game ever again. They've shown they can't even do a good job porting a game over to the Nintendo Switch, though. And the fact that they're aiming for a high metric score, though, I'm just worried that they are setting themselves up for failure. Again, I'm not saying Sonic Frontier is going to be a failure, though. It may actually end up being a good game, though. We know Sonic has certainly gotten into the hype. We have basically an upcoming Netflix show to Sonic the Hedgehog 2 that hit theaters earlier this year and did very well at the box office. So maybe this game could turn on. Maybe this game could may end up being actually good, but given the past 3D Sonic games, I'm just not 100% sure on this one, though. But again, like Dead Island 2, I don't want it to fail. I'm just not sure at this time. And last but not least is Hideki Kamiya basically using Gamescom to announce his podcast on Spotify. Now, whatever Hideki Kamiya wants to do, it's up to him to be exact, though. I mean, he created, Death Stranding, which was controversial to some folks, but there are some who did enjoy that game, to be exact. We now know it's also on Game Pass, but only on the PC Game Pass and all. And we know he's working on a game supposedly with Microsoft, basically for the cloud service, though. Now, but I'm just not really sure announcing a podcast at Gamescom is the right approach, though. I mean, if he wanted to do a YouTube video or basically a Twitter or Facebook post talking about him doing a podcast on Spotify, maybe that may have been a better approach. I'm just not really sure about him basically announcing at Gamecom. To me, that's almost like if Shigeru Miyamoto were to announce he's doing a podcast spent the entire Nintendo Direct talking about his podcast and everything like that. I'm not really sure everyone would be pleased with that, especially if Nintendo were to hype up saying, turn in for this very special Nintendo Direct, only to find out it's, Miyamoto talking about his podcast. That's how I feel with Hideki Kamiya announcing his podcast at opening night for Gamescom. I just think it could have been served for something, could have been saved. The announcement could have been done differently than just announcing it opening night of Gamescom. But either way, overall, this is some of the stuff what I liked and what I didn't like, and I wasn't not sure mixed about, though. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with what I said about that or disagree in any way, though. Okay, we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 4, and this one has to do with PQube games and a recent controversy it found itself in. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of our My 2 Cent video, though, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at PQube Games, particularly to be exact, though, and an allegation that they are recently facing, though. Now, we've heard many different kinds of allegations basically thrown around in the gaming industry, though. We've seen cases where some developers are accusing, the higher-ups from how they are being treated and all, to crunch and all that stuff, though. But extortion or something similar to that, though, or exploitation and all, is certainly something I didn't expect to hear, especially from a publisher by the name of PQube Games. Now, most of them may recognize that name, as they are the ones that have published the infamous Galguns series, though. And if you're curious about what that is, just type it in on YouTube and just see for yourself. But apparently, it seems as though that the developers of a certain game called basically called A Space for Unbound is accusing the publisher of exploiting them to the point that the game that was supposed to come out this year is on indefinite hold. From an article posted on The Verge, it says, quote, Mojiken, I apologize, I'm not saying the game correctly. I think it's Mojiken Studios, though. An Indonesian indie developer has accused its UK publishing partner, PQube Games, of manipulating and exploitation related to the funding and development of its latest game, A Space for the Unbound. In a statement on Twitter, Mojiken said that PQube Games, publishers from well-known indie hits like Guilty Gears, Blaze Blue, and Shantae Half Genie Hero, leveraged Mojiken's status as a developer in Indonesia to secure grant money for a major console platform, reserved for helping underrepresented developers get through its financial ruinous times of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mojiken then said that PQ did not dispense the fundings to Mojiken and withheld information about the province and purpose of the money in order to negotiate the increase of their revenue share. Said since the uncovering of this issue, we clearly cannot trust PQ Games nor continue to work together for the release of A Space for the Unbound, as PQ Games has fallen considerably short not only on reasonable decency, but also their obligations to us due to these predatory practice, read the statement. Mojiken further alleged that PQ Games is withholding the game console publishing rights, and as a result, the studio will definitely delay the release of A Space for Unbound as it tries to secure a new publisher, though. In a statement to The Verge, PQube denies these allegations, stated that it support Mojiken and Togi's production, an Indonesia indie publisher also working with the studio, and honors the terms of its agreement with the two companies. That in terms of PQ's Games response, they said, quote, this support has included offering significant further funding over and above grant funding to support development, porting, and marketing, to read PQ's statement. Togi production has sought for some time to unnaturally, if I'm sorry, I'm not saying that name correctly, enforce unreasonable revised terms to our agreement, and it's disappointing that as a result of not only achieving that, and despite PQ's significant effort to accommodate this, they have sought to deal with the matter in this way. We will respond thoroughly through appropriate channels. Announced in 2020, A Space for Unbound is a slice of life adventure taking place in rural Indonesia in the 1990s. Teen Raya and ATMA can jump into people's mind to uncover their true thoughts and feelings. According to the game page on PQube's website, A Space for Unbound was set for release on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Steam, though now the future of the game is in question though. Hold on, there's a little bit more, right? In a follow-up tweet to its original statement, Mojiken said that it does not wish for fans to retaliate by review bombing or boycotting PQube's other published games, only that people read their statement and understand the reason behind this seemingly infinite delay. We have to make a stand against exploited publishers and speak up about this to stop things like this from happening again in the future, they said. Now, to me, this is basically this to me is coming off between a he said, she said kind of a situation. This person saying this person saying that. But if the allegations against PQube Games is true, if this is accurate though, and if it is true though, then yeah, it is very scummy for them to do this. And I can see why the developers of that game, though, A Space for the Unbound, don't want to work with them if this is the kind of behavior they're trying to do and all, though. Now, it's going to be very interesting to see if A Space for Unbound ever sees the light of day or not. Maybe they do sign with another publisher and the game does finally get released, or it may not get released at all. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. And I am kind of curious if this ends up in any way taken to the courts or anything like that. I'm kind of curious if that will ever happen, though. I do hope this issue can be resolved, but it just adds another black eye for like seeing some issues the gaming industry itself needs to resolve. And I think exploiting or taking advantage of developers or indie developers is certainly going to be one of those issues. So overall, though, very disappointing to hear that this game is on indefinite delay, though. I do hope the issue gets resolved and all, but if these allegations are true, then yeah, shame on PQube Games, though. I mean, yeah, they might publish some good games, but this kind of if the allegations against them are true, this kind of behavior is certainly unacceptable, though. So I'm hoping that this issue does get resolved at some point, though. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the July 2022 NPD, though? Are you pleased with some of the games making it onto that list, though? Are you surprised about Multiverse overtaking Elden Rings and Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga? Do you think that Multiverse will get overthrown in next month's NPD reports, though? And were you kind of surprised to see Xenoblade Chronicles 3 make it on there, though? What are your thoughts about this report about the KOTOR remake and possibly and reports that Saber Interactive has handled it, though? Do you think Saber Interactive can handle the remake of the KOTOR remake, though? Do you have confidence in them? Do you don't really have confidence again? Do you think this game will see the light of day? Do you think it will fall into development hell and maybe possibly get canceled in any way? What are your thoughts about opening night for Gamescom 2022? Did you like what was shown at opening night, though? Were there certain games that you wish they showed? Were there games you are not happy with what they showed at all? And what do you think about this allegations against PQube Games, though, or the publishers that handle the Galgun series and all? Do you think these allegations are true? Do you think they're not true and all? Do you think this highlights another problem for the gaming industry as a whole that seriously does need to be addressed? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, so me watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!